The world full of mystery. Give a chance to a girl named Mitsuha Miyamizu, who wanted to escape her destiny. One day she woke up and went downstairs to have her breakfast, and while she was eating, her grandmother told her that she was acting weird yesterday. As Mitsuha and her sister Yatsuha went to their school, on their way they split and headed towards their own schools. Mitsuha on her way met her friends Katasuhiko and Sayaka. Together they went to their school while talking about their schedule. On their way, they stopped at the place where Mayor was giving speech, as the elections were on the way and Mitsuha's father was going to become the mayor. While in the school, their teacher told them about fiction and Twilight, that how the two worlds connect at the moment. While they had lunch, her friends told her that she had forgotten her name yesterday, and she was even not wearing her head ribbon and was doing all naughty stuff around the school. On their way back home, Mitsuha was all fuzzy and wanted to leave the village and go to Tokyo to study and to live a life there. Her friends then reminded her about the ritual her family had to perform later tonight. While Mitsuha was in her house, her grandmother told about the stories about the past, while Mitsuha's father was with his friends and official discussing about the elections. Later that night, Mitsuha and her sister performed the ritual, but Mitsuha was embarrassed in front of her school friends who used to bully her. While going back with her sister, she stopped on the edge of a mountain and loudly shouted of being leaving the village and move somewhere good. Next morning, Take woke up a young boy who lived in Tokyo with his father, but when he woke up he was feeling different. In real, it was Mitsuha in the boy's body, but was confused. As she and that body went down, Taki's father was waiting for his son to have breakfast together, but he was late. Later she reached in the school as Taki, and suddenly a boy called his name. It was Taki's friends Tsukasa and Shinta. They both laughed at him as he told that he lost his way to school, but in real it was Mitsuha who didn't know the place. Taki didn't even brought his laugh, so his friends shared some food with him, and then they all went to cafe where Mitsuha ordered her dream food to eat. Taki friends told to him that he had to go for his work, but he didn't know the place, so they guided him again. In the job, it was Mitsuha's first time, so she was quite lazy and slow and even got herself in trouble, but the other waitress working with him helped him and saved his day. She was Okudera and had a crush on Taki. Next day, when Taki woke up, he was himself, but he had also spent a day in the body of Mitsuha, which cleared the thought why she was acting weird. Taki then saw his phone. It had some weird messages to himself, and even when he met his friends, got to know about his weird action yesterday. Then he went to the restaurant for his working hours, but everyone there was upset due to his action. But Okudera was glad to have him, as he had helped her fix her skirt yesterday. Then next day again he switched with Mitsuha. They both were not understanding the situation and kept thinking it as a dream. But when they both saw the notes book and their body covered in notes, they realized that it was really happening, and they were switching bodies with someone else and loving their lives. Then the time passed and they both did everything they wanted as they were switched. They both told by MGS to each other that they didn't wanted any relationship with others, but still they kept making troubles for each other. Then one day Taki was inside Mitsuha's body and her grandmother told her to go to the mountains and she will show them something special. On the way her grandmother was tired, so she carried her on her back and started walking to the destination. While they were traveling, her grandmother told her about the time and how tangled it is as the thread itself, and how the time overlaps and how people are connected. Mitsuha was confused, but when they reached to the destination called Otherworld, she was amazed. While they looked for the top of the mountain, her grandmother told her that she was dreaming. Suddenly Taki woke up in his body. Taki got confused that what just happened. Then his phone rang. It was a reminder. Mitsuha had set a date of him with Okudera, and so he rushed towards her. Mitsuha was in her body, sad that she couldn't go to the date in his body, and tied the ribbon and looked into the mirror, and without any reason, tear came out of her eyes. Taki and Okudera went to the highest building there as she wants to go and look the view with him. While they both have lunch, he was not the same guy as she remembered, and told her that he is not the same guy. While they parted their ways, she asked her that does he have any other crush other than her, and he denied. On the village of Mitsuha, she was called by her friend and were told to come at night in the festival so they can see the comet passing by. She was all dressed up and his friend were surprised looking at her. While they all saw the comet, something happened. Taki in his city waited for the switch, but it didn't happen. Even the messages he sends were not going. So he got worried and started to think about the place and drew a picture of the village. Then he planned a trip and went to find her. Next, as he reached to the train station, He saw his friend Tsukasa and Okudera waiting for him, so they could go with him as he was doing strange stuff. He was clueless and went out to find her. His friend thought that he has gone mad, but still they joined him with knowing where he is headed. While reaching to the place where he thought the village would be, he was lost and no one knew about the place. But then while they were eating noodle in a shop, the waitress there saw the picture he had and noticed it and told that it is a picture of Tamori village, and he remembered the name and asked where it is, but they told that the village is destroyed. After listening to the name of the village, Taki friends also remembered that a comet hit that village and more than 500 people died in the accident. He was all lost and he started to look into his phone, but suddenly the messages he had started to erase and vanished, and his memories also started to fade away. He didn't give up, and with his friends, he looked into the books that what happened, and he saw the name of Mitsuha in the dead people list, but was lost. While he looked into the mirror, he started to forget the name of Mitsuha, but he didn't lost hope. He was sitting and trying to figure out the situation, but Okudera came and relaxed him, and while sitting with him, she saw a ribbon on his wrist and asked him that how did he got that, so he tried to remember how he got it. And then he remembered about a place where the time meets, so that night he left the hotel and alone went to the top of the mountain. As he reached there, he remembered that he had been here before, and when he went down in the center, he saw a little cave and went in, and there was water from someone rituals, and he drank them while skiing for one last chance and tried to remember everything, but then suddenly went into sleep and saw the childhood memories of Mitsuha and remembered her, and he woke up again in her body. Her sister was again confused and left her there and went to her school. While Mitsuha was in the house with her grandmother, who told her that she is changed and someone else is in her body, and she asked that how does she know. So she told her about her past as it has happened to her as well, but her memories had faded away. Taki and Mitsuha body told her that there will be a comet and it will kill them all. He rushed to school and told her friend about the situation and told them that she had a plan and told that they will make a blast in the electricity grid, and then her friend Sayaka will do the announcement from the school that everyone should evacuate the village, and told that she will go and tell her father to help. But while she went to ask for help, Mitsuha's father didn't help her and told to get out. While she was returning, she met her sister who told her that she went to Tokyo for 2 hours few days back, so Taki remembered that he met with a girl who had given him the ribbon and remembered that his body was in the top of the mountain, and he took the cycle of Katsuhiko and rushed towards the top. Mitsuha there had already woken up in Taki body and was all sad that everything had destroyed, but then she heard some voice calling her. But then she remembered that it was her own voice and Taki in her body is calling her out, but they both could not see each other. But then the sun went down and it was twilight time, and then they saw each other and had returned to their body. Then they both talked and promised to remember their names and told to write each other names. But when Taki finished writing his name on her hand, and she started to write, the time ended and they returned back. Taki told her that he will remember her, but he forgot her in few minutes as her memories faded. Mitsuha had no time left, so she rushed to the village, but on her way she also forgotten his name, and she was able to blast the grid station, and her friend successfully announced on the speaker so everyone could evacuate, but Mitsuha's father was stubborn and knew that it was her doing, so he sent the men to get the friend of her and bring them to him. But while their plan was failing and people didn't evacuate it, they got a news that the comet had split and is coming toward them, so his father then helped in evacuation as they were already halfway. Then it was already 3 years and Taki was finding his job, but he was looking for something else in his memories which he could not remember. He used to watch the news of the comet and the village who was saved as the people of there evacuated the area, which was a miracle. Okudera also told him to find his own happiness as he was left all alone. As he was all lost one day while traveling to train, he saw a girl on the next train, and she looked at him too. They both were curious about each other, and when their point came they hurried back to the point, and while in the middle they saw each other and took a breath and asked that does they know them, and asked that, what is it, your name?